Okay, it's Colonel Cliff Soreen, and some of the fans have been asking Pindar to come and do perhaps some reviews of some musical albums. And we checked in with Pindar, and he's really not into it. People are wondering, what do reptilians do right now with all of this going on? And because they're, sort of accused of being the powers behind the thrones of all the political leaders who are declaring quarantine on planet Earth. Nevertheless, Pindar doesn't want to be involved at all with the quarantine. He doesn't want to be seen as he's above it. He simply has decided that he doesn't like anything to do with keeping this, he calls it a charade or a charade, going. And that is because he's kind of become a mentor to young Draco. And if you can remember, there was one of the Planet of the Apes movies. It wasn't the first one. It was one in the series of the original Planet of the Apes, made in basically the late 1960s, 1970s, maybe. Anyways, there were, after so many altercations between apes and humans, I think it was Caesar was the name of the ape, and he was trying to mentor the young chimpanzees, and that's the way Pindar is now. He's trying to mentor the young reptilians, and he's still having a great difficulty with trying to explain the whole history of how the Draco came to be the way they are. And people want to know, well, are they still running Earth like it's their private farm for humans? Yes. And what's Pindar's position is still the head of the whole schmozzle. However, he doesn't want to be seen as evil. He wants to be seen as a guiding hand for both the Draco and the reptilians. And so he's cutting out the brutality acts that they're still going on. I saw one yesterday where a man was in Italy in one of those narrow Italian streets, and he had his shirt off. Clearly he had cabin fever, horrible, and he needed to go outside and get some air. And the police came, and one of the cops came and came up from behind him, and he was a big guy, and he kicked this guy's feet out from under him. And so he went wham down like a sack of potatoes. And then I guess he was arrested. And I looked at that and I said, this is as bad as Rodney King. And if you don't know Rodney King, that was the Los Angeles police, and it started an enormous riot for police brutality. And anyway, Pindar doesn't want these brutalities to continue. However, he is not, he doesn't want to say he can't stop them. He says, I'm trying to let go of micromanaging all of the Draco and the people who are on Earth that are in, the police departments in Italy, they don't think they are run by the Draco. So he's letting these incidents, he doesn't want to say he can't stop them, because he already explains that he has got plenty of ways, but he is working on himself, and that means he wants to let go of controlling all the situations. And these incidents come up, and he's going, well, he's breathing, and he's going, it's very difficult. If you're in a position of power, even if you think of parents with say 10-year-old children, and the 10-year-olds, I mean, if they were 10-year-old boys, if you had three of them, they would tend to fight amongst each other. And, the parents, after a while, they get to know that boys will be boys, and until they get to be to the point where they're, really, really getting out of line, they tend to let the boys rough and tumble with one another. So, where else do you want to go? Pindar doesn't even like earth music. He says he's not even interested in music at all. He says it's a human thing. Reptilians are not interested in music. They're not even interested in thrash metal or anything. They don't. They think it's an oddity, a human oddity. It's not something that Can you imagine playing Beethoven for a crocodile? A crocodile is not going to respond. However, if you played Beethoven for a mammal, mammals seem to like birds, I think, like human music. So, I mean, if you played Beethoven for fish, would they like it? In Pindar's opinion, no. I'm going to go with Pindar's incorrect on this, but I don't want to say too many things about him being wrong. You don't understand. You don't criticize someone like Pindar. You don't. It's just not good form. And he doesn't give me any leeway at all. In fact, I'll probably get chewed out majorly next time he decides he's going to go through his list. He has got a list of he just keeps track of everyone on the planet. He's got surveillance everywhere, and if he wants, he's got that gizmo like they have on a new Hawaii 5.0, whatever that computer program is that's tied into all of the cameras and smart TVs. He knows what's going on if he wants to look up anyone on the planet, and he can look up me, and he does. So I have no doubt that he's going to look at me. And do I cower when he looks at me? Yes. Why? He has a vibration about him, especially when he's not feeling well. If he's not feeling well, his vibration is if you had to spend all your life in Hannibal Lecter's cell as his cellmate, do you think you would ever feel comfortable around Hannibal Lecter? He still wants to inform the world that he doesn't want to be seen as being the tyrant of the world, even though he has that capacity, because he says he's working on letting go of his reputation as being a reptilian Draco stereotype. And that's about all I can tell you about it. He doesn't want to talk about anything else. He's actually going to go and see if there's any more Soreen brandy, because he is decided to dismiss me. Do you think I work for? Yes, Men in Black work for the reptilian Draco. We're supposed to keep tabs on all. That's just in the movies, with Will Smith. No, we don't keep tabs on the extraterrestrials. We keep tabs on the people, the dissenters on planet Earth. We keep track of other extraterrestrials who are trying to interfere with their planet. And so, yes, there's no direct chain of command to the Draco. It's basically if the Draco have decided that they want to micromanage any particular official on the planet, they will. and otherwise we basically go about our business pretending to serve humanity, but in essence, we're very good at pretending, and that's why you don't get any official information about extraterrestrials on the planet, because it's not wanted by our overseers. Stories that there are other extraterrestrials that are trying to upset the apple cart of the Draco Empire. The Draco say, not on your life. They say those other ones are chicken shit. And if they really wanted to upset the apple cart, you would see these extraterrestrials. You would see them. You would see them on the ground with troops. You would see them in the air with spaceships. They say the other extraterrestrials you hear about by channeling are their pussies and their chicken shit, and they're never going to help free planet Earth because their own planets are under Draco domination. That is the Draco Empire, and we are not officially part of the Empire because it's kind of an experiment. The Draco look at different rules, and the rules come as some planets we want to be seen and heard. Other planets we want to manage them surreptitiously, mostly because we have not really scientists. It's more like the personalities of the individuals who are managing these worlds. Some of them not a hands off, but some of them just like to use different techniques. Do they talk among each other about what does? No, they don't. They don't like each other. Draco reptilians don't like socializing amongst themselves. They love, the best postings are the ones the furthest away from the Draco home star system. The further they can get from that world, the better. They're solitary. I was going to say animals, but I don't think they like the word animals, but solitary species. And they don't want to talk about mating rituals. Rituals, that might give you an idea. Velociraptors. And I think it's the black widow spider, and it eats its mate after mating. Thank you for your requests, and as you can see, Pindar didn't decide to channel in. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll see if his lordship is available.